So today we are wrapping up our resiliency conversations by having a conversation with our executive director, Belinda Marier. Thanks for being here, Belinda.
Thanks, Kari.
So a lot of big things have been happening at Serendipity in the last few weeks. Can you bring us up to date?
I can. So Serendipity was planning our limited instruction program to open right after spring vacation, just as Governor Brown's executive order came out about moving more quickly towards a hybrid model of instruction. And so we felt it was important to honor the plans that had been laid with specific families and students for limited in person. And so following spring vacation, on the week of March 29th, we will do 2 cohorts of limited in-person instruction. And then 2 weeks following that, we will begin the process of reopening Serendipity Center on a hybrid model of instruction. So beginning the 12th of April, there are 3 elementary classrooms that will be starting in a hybrid schedule of instruction. A week later, 1 upper school classroom. A week later, 4 middle school classrooms. A week later, 2 more upper school classrooms, and then a week later, the final 2 upper school classrooms. And that plan balances 2 priorities. One, invite our students and welcome our students back into the community of our school building, which we are so excited about, balanced with allowing them to re-enter gradually and have time to learn the safety protocols, get used to school operating a little bit differently than it did when they left a year ago, make the connections again with their peers and their staff members and feel comfortable. So that's the plan, and we're very excited about it. We've missed seeing our students.
So we sent out a little teaser in the last MailChimp that Serendipity sent out about an event coming up on April 30th. Can you give us a little more information about that?
Yes. So on April 30th, Serendipity will be releasing a video called The Expressions of Resiliency. And it is the culmination of the first phase of Serendipity's resiliency response. So since we closed to in-person instruction last March, we've been talking with our stakeholders and our supporters about resiliency and this call to be resilient ourselves so we can foster resiliency in our students. And the resiliency response was divided into 2 distinct phases. The first phase involved being resilient and having the support to deliver comprehensive care during distance learning. And the second phase involved support so that we reopened strong and prepared and able to address enhanced behavioral health needs as they made themselves clear. And so as we release this event, Expressions of Resiliency, what we're really concluding is the first phase of the resiliency response. On April 30th, we will be not fully back in hybrid instruction, but almost all of our classes will be back. And we will be able to talk with our friends and our stakeholders and our families about this was what was accomplished in the year of distance learning. And this is what our supporters made possible in terms of enhanced mental health support and food shares and technology and the gifts that we were blessed with during this time. It is an online fundraising event in that we are hoping to conclude the first part of the end of the campaign this year. And then we begin Resiliency Response second phase, which is opening in a way that is congruent with the needs of our students and our families as they return to in-person instruction.
So why is it so important that folks support Serendipity financially at this time?
Kari, that's a good question because there are a lot of worthy causes in our community right now. My answer would be that supporting Serendipity at this time is important because whereas all students in our community have been impacted by a year away from school, obviously, it is my belief that young people who were already challenged with disability or trauma were impacted differently. I think that isolation and lack of predictability, lack of structure, lack of human contact outside of their families has, for some of our students, um, been a cause for regression. And our students have not really had to, in the last year, had the opportunity to continue working on their ability to interact with their peers. And so when we reopen, as we reopen, it is our prediction that our need to deliver um, even more mental health support and behavioral health support than we were a year ago is going to be very important. And so the ask that we're making to our community in phase 2 of the resiliency response is that enhanced support, the enhanced support of, of having more resources to do clinical work and make resource referrals to families, to do more coaching, to help kids regain the lost skills in self-regulation and self-management and effective communication. Well, Kari, thank you for talking today. This is an important topic, and I want to take the opportunity to thank the Serendipity students for their perseverance and the resiliency that they did display during distance learning. I want to acknowledge the Serendipity staff, the efforts of the teachers, the outreach and support and home visits of the clinicians, the food share, the art therapy, all of the supports that were delivered in unusual ways during comprehensive distance learning. I want to thank the Serendipity families for being there for their students for a full year of home instruction. I want to thank our stakeholders and our investors and our supporters for giving us the support to provide the food, to provide the technology, to provide the enhanced support during comprehensive distance learning, and then ask you to make the continued investment so that we do reopen strong. And so in this next year, as we invite children back into in-person instruction and the reestablishment of a community, we have the ability to deliver the enhanced supports that they will need. I'm really looking forward to April 30th.
Me too. Thank you, Belinda. It's been a pleasure as always. I so appreciate you being here for our final resiliency conversation.
Thanks, Gary.